Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, I'm saying good morning because it's currently 4:27 a.m. So, let me just get this all back. Okay. Okay, everybody. Welcome to today's stream. I trust that everything is set up correctly. Apologies in advance if... Okay, let me just hide this thing. Well, okay, I have to still change something there. Apologies in advance for anything that I say that doesn't sound very good. This is now my first attempt at doing a stream in the morning, and I think it's going to go well. I'm not too... I'm optimistic, right, about the time slot, etc. It feels like a good one. This is how... in the past when I was able to finish a game, a project or something like that, it was because I woke up early and I got to work before my day started, right? So hopefully I can get back into that groove and take you guys along with me. So let's have a go. So I'll just go to this screen. And I think this is what we are going to look at for the foreseeable future. I just need to pause a couple of things here. Just make sure everything works. Okay, and I can do that. Okay. So I've got my time tracker running. Move my mic over to there, and then I can get my keyboard in a more better coding position. There we go. Got myself some coffee. Like I said, it's super early, and obviously my brain, in anticipation for this morning's stream and the work I wanted to get done, I decided, you know what, good sleep. Who needs it? It did its own thing. Okay. So just for interest, I think I'm gonna start with this super quickly. Let me show you this thing quickly. Okay. So I currently have streaming running and this character select window, so I'm tracking time for those two. So I might, well, obviously I'm not working on that right now, but there might be a little bit of a thingy going there. There's my chicken. Okay, so just to show you guys what's been happening in the last week, because I don't think I showed anybody this. I didn't go through this last time. So if you go to our time tracking hub, okay, yeah, you can see in this week. Now, unfortunately, it kind of refreshed itself now, so this thing's only doing this week. So for this week, which it's Sunday today, so that means new week, character select, streaming, that's the only things that have been done. That's what I'm doing right now. And obviously, I haven't ended any of these tasks, so it hasn't calculated how much time I've spent. Okay, but that's fine. So let's see just total time by project. So for game dev and YouTube, but YouTube we can forget about that. So since we started tracking, this is how it's going right now. So you can see we've completed quite a few time entries, and in total we're at 1,580 minutes spent. Since obviously the tracker is working, we've done way more than that, but anyway, it's what it is. So currently for this week, you see I worked on this character select menu, and then my wife did a bunch of work on the some of the modeling, right? So she updated the chicken model, and then she started fixing the ranger, and then if you go by person, you can also see how much time she spent versus me. And again, we only started tracking this stuff recently, so a lot of this is not quite right. Okay, but we can get rid of that. Let's continue working on our select menu. Okay, so let's see. I have this menu pop-up. So this is a canvas. Canvas, character selection, and we have this button which is supposed to have a different name. So let's just go into this text and let's call it character, something like select character. I think, like, obviously this is all pretty placeholder, right? So it doesn't really matter. Now let's rename it here as well. Call it the character select button. Okay, now so obviously now I need to connect some things. So I think this is pretty straightforward. Now, just a word of warning. I'm not amazing at Unity yet, or really coding for that matter. I've been dabbling, right? I'm a code dabbler, or a cobbler, not quite a software engineer, right? And that's because, you know, my experience is kind of all over the place. But I think, so for the select character, you just open inspector and then you go on click, and this is like the event system, so we can add an event. Editor, runtime only, I suppose. Well, no, runtime only. We want it to affect this object, so just let me lock that because it needs to affect this one. So we drag that in. What do we do? So it's a game object. We just say set active, and we make it true when you click that button. Okay, and by default, okay, let's just unlock this. So by default, it is inactive, right? Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, let's just so for these two buttons we need to do something with them as well. So I think very straightforwardly what we'll do, add an event again for the character select menu, and we'll just for now at least set active to false. Okay, this one add for our character select menu, set active to false, right? So that's good enough for now, I guess. Okay, and I said I want this to be not a thing when we start the game. Let's just check what this does out of curiosity. I should probably stop this. Okay, here we go. So it's not working. Okay, so that's fine. I don't see my button. Okay, let's put, there's the button. It's supposed to be visible. I don't understand. Oh. Oh, geez. Why is it zooming in like this? If I do... No, 1080 by... Okay, so my window is the problem here. Okay, I see now I am zoomed in. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, so let's just zoom this out all the way. I wonder if there's any aspect ratio where this doesn't happen. Free? No. 16 by 9. It's even worse. Something is not working there. Okay, full HD. We just need to zoom out. Okay. Okay, so select the chicken. It goes away. Select character. It comes up. Select chicken. Select character. Select chicken. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, that's working. Okay, so if we go back into our scene. Okay, so that's fine. We also want, perhaps, if we can change the character on the fly. Okay, look, this is obviously not the intended way to play the game. Right, because I don't want necessarily to, yeah. So I don't really want the character to be selected on the fly like this, right? If you're in a level, you stick with the character you're in. But for now, just to test, I think we're going to leave the select character button there. And we can do this whenever. And additionally, maybe we can pause our game. You see, so this is now exactly where I already don't have an idea how to do that. I'm assuming we can have an on-click thing here. And now for game object, oops, okay, that's probably not what I wanted to do. Game object, I wonder if I drag my whole scene in here, what happens? Nothing. Okay, so that doesn't work. Whoops, where's my button now? Okay, so editor, no, that's got nothing to do with it. So, Google, here we go. So, how to make pause button in Unity. Right, and I'll probably be getting videos. Okay, so I'm gonna try and not have to watch a video for this. So let's see. Okay, so I thought this was going to be a script problem. Okay, so we need to add a script. So in my scripts folder, okay, I think I'll just dump it here for now because I have no idea. Create new mono behavior script, right? So this would be select button. Okay, so my select character button script. Righto. Let's just attack. Okay, Unity is doing its thing. Okay, select. There we go. So it's now attached to the button. Open some VS Code. Ah, that's not. This is Visual Studio, right? It's not VS Code. What is this looking like, by the way? I have no idea. Let's just have a quick glance at OBS. That's okay, I guess. I would say so. Just have a quick glance at the streaming stuff on Twitch and YouTube. They seem to be fine. Okay. So, select character button currently does nothing. Okay. So, let's see. I actually do want start. Don't need updates. Let's get rid of that. We can probably get rid of that as well. You should all know by now what start does. Okay. So we want to get component, the select character button, and then we just want to listen to an on click. Oh geez, what am I doing? Is this not? Okay, let's get rid of that. So I'm not sure what to do, but let's see. I have I've done something like this before. Just go back to Unity quickly. Okay, so we have a button element. So this button oh, this is the character select button. Ah, okay. It might be part of my problem. Okay, so it's get component, character, is it really of type button? Maybe it is. Okay, dot on click. Jeez. And type button. Ah, okay. Now it understands what I want. So we want to add a listener, and we want to make this. Yeah, okay, we want to call it something. Okay, let's just call it toggle pause. Pause. Yeah, something like that, right? And let me just do a public void toggle. think it's happy now. Whoop, that's not a semicolon. Yeah. Okay, so we have we add a listener, toggle pause. So when click happens, pause will be toggled, and we have a toggle pause function, so it calls this function. Okay, cool. So apparently we have to do time scale equals, if I just say 0f here, does that stop the passage of time? I mean, it makes sense to me. Okay, saved. Let's just try it. Okay, so Unity did its thing there. Okay, let's have a go. Have a drink. Oh no! Okay, I did the wrong thing. I, for some reason, got rid of my character select button. Okay, let's do this again. Alright, so let's just say I selected something, I'm fighting, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay, wait, I need to select a character. Ah, good. Good, okay, so it really is that. Okay, but obviously nothing's going to happen ever again because I have no way of unpausing anything. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so now for my menu, I wonder if I should just add the select menu here. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna say, well, okay, no wait, I don't have a, well, I could just add a new script, right? Yeah. You know what, let's go into scripts and let's see, what do I have here? Enemy, object, players, knights. Let's just make a folder for UI. Okay, so my user interface scripts, and then we can say the character button, right? Yeah, we can take this one and put it in there. And hopefully nothing broke. I think Visual Studio gets a bit confused when you do this. Okay, but create new script, and we can call this the character select menu, right? So the script associated with this menu. Something's unhappy here. Transient artifact provider, get artifact ID. I have no idea what this means. And I just created a script and it's freaking out about it. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay, so this thing forgot where the button is. That's fine. We know it's in here. Okay. Okay, so there's our select menu. Let's just attach it to our select menu first. Add component, character select menu script for our character select menu. Okay, cool. Now I can open it, right? Okay, nice. So I wonder, so I could probably do a couple of things here. So first of all, I could hide this by default on awake. I don't have to though. Okay, but let's add our buttons here. So I'm just going to do a serialized field, and I'll call this one the select. So this would be a type of button, and we can call it the select chicken button. Or let's just make a chicken night button. Alright, and then we do a copy paste, and we have the select Robin Ranger button. Okay, cool. So I do it that way, because then I can manage all this from a single script. So if we go back to Unity, yeah, so now we have that. So I could just go in here and select chicken night button. I can do that, and select ranger button. I can do that. And this just makes it a little bit easier, in my opinion, to add some of the listeners. So I can now do select chicken button dot on click. How does this work again? On click add listener. Okay. So this is on click dot add listener. And I guess we can do this toggle unpause, right? Yeah. Get rid of this. Oops. We still need this. So we can do public void toggle on pause. So this would be time scale 1f, right? So it's pretty much setting it back to 1 times speed. Okay, and we can just have this for both buttons, right? Select chicken night button, and we can also do select the Robin Ranger button. Okay, so we have the same listener for, well, we looking for the on-click event for these two buttons, and they both run the same function, the unpause function, right? Okay, I think there's also a way of doing this. That might not be a bad idea either. So I know you can do in the buttons themselves, I can do the on-click. So this is the same thing, right? This is your on-click event, and I can drag in. So I could make like a game state manager, or just your game manager, or whatever, and I could have that component in here, and I can select from here just the function, you know, some function that we want to run from that component, which might not be a bad thing either. Just realized I switched off the music at some point. Okay, yeah, so that's another way of doing this, so, which is not bad, I guess. Let's see, I should have a game manager, shouldn't I? I mean, if I'm this far into the game, Game manager, event system. No. Game input. Oh, there's an extra menu that comes up. I was just a bit confused now. Huh. Yeah, I don't actually have a game manager. I wonder if I should do that, because that would mean I could toggle the pause. From multiple places, right? I also should try and fix all this stuff. It looks a bit confusing, but it's fine for now, right? We don't have to do beautiful yet. So let's just do a game. I'll make this all manager. Game manager. Okay, since it's difficult to read, we should probably do something like this. Okay, game manager. Okay, and then we should make a script. So it's aim, camera. Oh, there is a game manager script. So I made a script for this. Just haven't used it yet. Okay. What is in the script? Okay, nothing. F4. Okay, cool. So I had this thought. It turns out I just never had to use it for anything. Okay, cool. So game manager is now added. Okay, so a couple of things we can do is, okay, so let's say we have a public function. Yeah, this should be a public function. Public void. Oops. What the hell is my void? Oh geez, public void. We'll call this the toggle pause function, right? And let's just say can we get time? Yeah, it's probably better to do time. Okay, so you have a toggle pause, and then we just have a toggle unpause. Yeah, so we just have those two to toggle the pause on and off, right? Let me save this, and now what I do instead, so I go to this button, for instance, I add and I do game manager, so it interacts with the game manager during runtime. It'll run a function in game manager, and it will be the toggle unpause function. So then I manage it through here, which I kind of like, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this one, same thing, we just add it over there. We say runtime only is, that's what the problem. Oh yeah, I need to track it. Game manager. Game manager toggle unpause, something like that. Okay, and then what I can do then is I can basically get rid of the script. I'm not going to get rid of the script entirely because I might need it for something, right? But I'll leave the buttons there. They might have to do something else, but we're not going to toggle pause in here anymore, right? I think this is better. Okay, let's just get rid of any issues. And then the same with the select character button. Currently it's also toggling pause, which I don't think it should do. So let's just make it do nothing for now. Through the script, right? It might do nothing forever, but yeah, the game manager will manage pausing and unpausing. We don't want just and this makes more sense, right? You want all this to happen from one place, because otherwise you have 10 different elements that could potentially pause and unpause the game, which just sounds bad, right? Okay. So the game manager itself is doing game management stuff, and it's just getting. So this one would toggle pause, and then the others would toggle unpause. Okay. So we're gonna have a test, and let's see if this works. Okay, select since it wasn't. Okay. It's not a lot of music, but. Select character, it pauses. Select the chicken knight, it goes. Okay, fantastic. What I think I should do, maybe I should just go to music. I wonder if I just switch it off for now, because I don't want to keep pausing my music, the other music that I have in the background. I'm just gonna check if this is fine now. Yeah, okay, so we still have the sound effects, we just don't have the music, so. Yeah, that's fine, that's fine. Okay. Just a bit better to do, while we're doing the development, right? Guys, I don't want to be changing this stuff all the time. Just checking something here on Twitch. Let's take this over to this side quickly. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Okay, what's next? So we got it to pause and unpause. Now I suppose I want this thing to actually be able to select the different characters somehow. So this is something that I'm not too sure. Let me take a sip of this water. Because my coffee is done. It is klar. Okay, so obviously we want to be able to select these things, but I haven't really decided how this works. So you'll notice what I did do. Oh geez, there's a moth now. Seriously. Okay, moth, just stay out of my way. So what I did is I have this player script, right? Let's zoom in again here because let's get out of 2D, right? 2D can just do its thing now. Okay, so we have the player. It is this entity, right? And then in the player we have this attack trigger zone, which is probably not exactly the way it should be. I might have to move this. So currently this is just the zone in which it detects a collision pretty much with some other kind of a object or an enemy, and then it whacks it, obviously, right? So that's fine. And then so the player has that attached to it, so to the player component. And the player also does a couple of other things like movement. It's also got the listener for the audio. Like, why am I getting all these? Wow. Something. Layout update is struggling to process current layout. I'm not even sure what that means. What layout? Does it mean this layout? Like my layout? I'm just going to clear that. Right? That's not how that works. We just clear it, it's fine. Okay, so let's think about this. So we have this. Now, if I have to switch to the Ranger, so I could do this two ways, I think. So I can either have multiple attack trigger zones, right? So I can have one associated with the Ranger and one associated with the Knight, for instance, and the Wizard and whatever else, right? Because this is the zone in which automatic, the auto attack happens. Or I could just have one and it moves around. That sounds like a hassle. It sounds like it would be, I think it might be better to just have multiple and then activate, toggle them on and off. Actually, it might even be better to take this thing and make it a child of the Knight character. So we incorporate the trigger zone or the attack trigger zone into the Knight character itself. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah, because currently how I'm thinking about this, you have the player. Okay, that's fine. And then you have the Knight. And I'm not sure, because I don't know how people do this typically, right? I don't know anything about game development, realistically. But is it a good idea to have the player and then have the Knight character, the Ranger, all the various characters already inside of the player? And then when we toggle in our menu, or when we select the different ones in our menu, we basically switch it on and off. So we just go click, so now you're not the Knight character anymore. Whew, excuse me. I don't know, I think that's the way I do it. Yeah, so if you look at the Knight character, what is associated with this thing? So the Knight itself only has colliders and bodies, but then inside the Knight, obviously, we have all of this other stuff. Oh, why is this? Oh, yes, that's right. I'm using the Unity version control, right? So, but I haven't updated it in a while. I should probably do that. But okay, so you have the Knight character, which is not that much. It's just a container for some things, and it gives me a capsule and a body, right? And then inside of that, we have our Chicken Knight, the FBX that we get from Blender. So this is then obviously got all the parts, right? And it's also the thing that we attach our animator to. So you can see here we have the animator, we have a script associated with the animator, and then we have this animator events script as well. So it's just a bunch of Unity events that do different things, right? So in this case, the only thing it's listening to currently really is during the hit animation. It's passing through a attack number, so that's basically just, is it the first or the second swipe, right? Because if you look at this in animation, you have attack 1, which looks like that, right? And you have attack 2, which looks like that, right? So it's just asking, you know, which one of the two is it, and then based on that, it activates these polygon slashes. Right, so that would be attack 1, and then attack 2 has a different one, right, that one. That's just for the VFX. Oh, and the sound effects, right, so if you go back to if we just go back here. So, in the sound manager, it also plays the whoosh sound for our sword, right? So that's pretty much it. Now I can already see that I might have made a mistake by just calling this warrior character animator. Warrior animator events night. Okay, so I did call it night at least. I then have one, I guess, for the enemy, and then eventually I'll have one for the ranger as well, because I need to put all that stuff in for the ranger. Currently the ranger doesn't work that well, so that's kind of, you know, ranger problems. Okay, so in the player, now I just want to see if there's any reason to maybe separate these. So you have a manager. We currently have the knight's stats in here as a scriptable object. We have the aim manager. Oh yeah, that's just for when I right click somewhere in the world, it points the knight towards. And you see I have it in movement as well. I don't actually think it does anything in the player script anymore. And then we have this take damage function. Or the take damage script. So how do I think about this? So obviously I thought that I should manage all of this in the play itself. Oh, okay. And no, this is the this take damage is actually for the damage numbers that pop up above them. Yeah. Now I remember. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that might be okay. It can just pop up. Player take damage script. Let's check what the script does. Okay, so it spawns the number. And it's associated with the player manager. Let's just see player manager. Some of this stuff's so flippin' confusing. Okay, but player take damage. Player take damage. Okay, so we connect it there. Okay, then we use it, yeah. On got hit, so we just make a on got hit. That's the event system. Okay, player take damage, on got hit. Okay, so we do something. So in this case, knight stats dot character health minus whatever the damage number is, or we check if the player is dead then while the player is dead. Okay. You see, so this is maybe also a problem. So I was doing knight specific stuff in this case, in the place where I shouldn't have. Okay, so we can do this maybe in a couple of ways. So I can do this in two ways. So obviously the player and this player manager has the knight's stats as a scriptable object. So I guess what I could do, let's check something now. So what I could do is I could have multiple scriptable objects for every potential character that you can select, tracking the stats. So I'm doing all of that in the player, right? So I'll have knight stats, ranger, wizard, whatever. Then when I select them, there's also a function or some kind of a boolean that checks which one of the various characters are currently active, so selected. Then you check which is active and you apply damage or whatever modifier you need to the stats for that character only. Or, so that would do a lot of stuff for the different characters. Now, I'm not sure if that'd be good, because we're doing a lot of things now for the in one place, right? Instead of maybe splitting it up into the knight character, the ranger character, wizard character, for instance. So maybe it's better to split it up, to have the knight not take damage within player but within knight instead. Like knight character, we add a script here. We can call it like knight character manager or something like that, where things that happen specifically to the knight gets tracked specifically inside of the knight. So whether or not, so any damage taken is taken by the knight, it's not taken by the player. Oh, that might be a better idea. So the knight takes damage, not the player. The knight's taking damage, and then eventually the knight can die. The player doesn't die, the knight dies. We can keep track of whether or not, okay, so we can keep track, I guess, in player, for instance, we just keep track of the status of the different characters, for instance. So if the knight dies, the player knows the knight actually died, so we don't have the knight as an option anymore when we're doing our fighting. We just have the ranger, for instance. That could work. That's quite a bit of refactoring, I guess. So I think this take damage script, this is just for the visual. I don't need to duplicate that multiple times, I don't think. Okay, so maybe we go into the knight character itself. Right, so we go into the prefab and we say, okay, knight character. We create a scriptable script, and we say this is, let's just call it knight character manager for now, because we are super, wait, no, that's fine, you don't know why did VS Code just jump up at me. put the manager then inside of the character. Okay. Okay, and some of the stuff we'll do, if you look at the player manager, for instance. Yeah, so the player manager has something like the knight stats, cryptical object, so I guess that makes sense if this is in here as well. Okay, so we're going to move this over to here, so the knight stats go in there, right? Okay, then we have the play take damage. Okay, so first we take the knight stats, we get the character health, and we apply damage. Let's see, so play take damage. Okay, so we have a script associated with play take damage. And this is for the damage number. I wonder if we shouldn't actually move this. I'm so hesitant to duplicate stuff. I don't know if this is correct. It might just me being pedantic or something, because like what I'm thinking now is if I move this script to every single character, that's a lot of duplication, right? Technically. But what I also want to do is maybe change the number. Actually, that might be another good question, is do I want the damage number to appear every time the player takes damage? That might get annoying, I think. Especially if you consider the way the enemies work right now. Yeah, because if you look, there's always going to be many enemies and they're all going to be hitting you with tiny little attacks. So do you want a million of those floating numbers above your head? Maybe not, right? Okay, let me just change my time tracker quickly. So we're just going to say stop here. And that's a bit annoying. So it stopped my streaming. Okay, so we start the streaming again, I guess. Okay, I'm just adding a new task, because I'm technically now doing something else, right? So just new task, yeah, and we'll call this one, let's see, what am I busy with right now? So I'm trying to separate character from player. can't spell separate. Due date, no, it's part of game dev. No man, what did I just do? Okay, so I'm separating character from player. Okay, so I think I don't need the damage numbers perhaps on the player himself. Okay, so let's see how do we want to do this. So the player takes damage script, right? If you think about, if you look at this thing, so it's looking for the on-guard hit event. Right, no, it's sending the on-guard hit event, sorry. And the augments it has is the damage, right? And it has a apply hit function. So this is basically for the enemy. It applies hit and then it sends out, it invokes the on-guard hit event with the damage, right? Maybe that's fine. So maybe we leave that and we just listen for this event. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe what we can do for the knights is at start we can say get component in parent, I guess, get component in this thing is struggling like this. Okay, get component in parent layer take damage. Let's see, plus equals let's change this player. Player take damage on got hit. We do something, right? And effectively, what we just want to do is we take this stuff. Okay, and we pretty much do this, right? So I'm just moving this over here. So we check if our character health, so knight stats dot character health. Okay. And we change the player state machine to dead. I guess that's fine for now. So if the knight dies, you are dead. Okay, yeah, that's okay for now. Just save this, and in the player manager, oops. Okay, we just take it out for now. Oops. Okay, so I'm just commenting it out. This is my idea. So I comment it out now. Then I forget that I moved this to somewhere else. And then in the future, when I go back to these, I don't know why it's commented, and then I'm too scared to change anything. So let's just write here, moved to character side, not for player to manage. Okay, so hopefully that helps me remember what the hell I was doing here. But I'm leaving it in here because I'm superstitious for now. Okay, so the character, so the knight character manager is now tracking the stats of the knight. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense to me. So, and then the player is taking damage, and it's obviously gonna. The player takes, so in the, yeah. So we check in our parent for a player take damage function, or the game object player takes damage, and we're listening to the event, and then we're applying the damage and all that stuff. Okay, so this seems fine. Let's test it out. Let's see if I can die. So I think I need to go to the knight stats scriptable object. Yeah, and you can see here my health is massive. Let's just make it like 10, right? So this is my start health. So if you look at the scriptable object, there's a reset character stats function. Oh, and I guess I'm calling this in the wrong place as well, right? So I'm probably doing this in player manager. Yeah, I shouldn't do it there. I should move this as well. So I reset the stats in the over here instead. Okay, so let's just comment this out again because we are superstitious. Okay, so this makes sense. Whew, excuse me. Man, I did not sleep enough, that's for sure. It's gonna be a long ass day. Okay. Alright, we're gonna save all that. And now I set the start value for my knight stats. Okay, there's something wrong with my scripts. Where? Oh, really? This is probably just me clicking stuff I shouldn't be clicking. Okay, now it's updating. That's good. Okay. So you should. Oh, I didn't. I need to do this. Get the scriptable object itself. Okay, so that's now in my knight character. I drag the scriptable object in there. And let's go. Let's see if this works. So I only have 10 HP. I should die fairly quickly. And I've died. Select character, select the knight. Okay, doesn't do anything. Okay, cool. Okie dokie. I just want to do something. Let me see here. Text. And let's see. Be right back. Yeah. I'll be right back. Stick around. Maybe I should also switch off the mic. I'm back. Alright, let's get rid of this. Oh, okay, cool. Now we have that. Oh, jeez. I just noticed I was bitten by a mosquito, or maybe multiple, on my index finger knuckle. That's probably the most annoying place for them to do that, but you know, mosquitoes, what can you do? Okay. Okay, where was I? Okay, so I'm currently splitting some of the responsibility from the player to the various characters. So the knight character now takes some control over its own health and stuff like that. Okay. That's good. Alright, so now I guess what else do I need to separate from the player? Movement, I don't think so, because all of them will be moving, right? No, I don't want the movement to be different. Well, it doesn't have to be managed separately, right? So I think that's the case. So movement stays where it is, and aiming. Okay, the aiming thing I did say I want to change that, alright? So technically I should take this bubble, the attack trigger zone, with its trigger script. I should have multiple of them, so let's duplicate this one and let's drag it into a knight character. Okay, and then let's just call it attack trigger zone. It's fine. It's inside the knight character, so it's separate. Because if I say apply all, this basically just means that if I open the... Yeah, okay, so the trigger zone actually is now part of the prefab, right? So that's what I wanted. So yeah, so I edited the... Yeah. Change the prefab here. Okay, so this is my attack trigger zone now, and it has an attack trigger function. Or script, right? So let's see what this does. So... Yeah, it logs. Okay, so it has a couple of setup stuff here. It just finds the mask or the layer mask, defines the layer mask for enemy, which is fine. So let's see. So if the player is not dead, which we might have to handle a bit differently, we make a check sphere at the position of this thing, right? And if something is in there, it invokes the on attack trigger event. Okay. Public void, hit enemies in attack zone. Oh, that's to apply the damage, right? So this is specifically for the knight that it works like this, because it's a sweeping attack, right? So everything in front of it needs to take the damage. So with that said, I should maybe have multiple attack triggers for the knight. Yeah. That makes sense to me. And then your attack trigger zone. Well, the attack trigger actually does the damage stuff. It's going to be different for the ranger, for instance. So the ranger... I'm not sure how the ranger would work. Probably going to shoot a physical projectile and check for the... when it hits, right? That sounds way more complicated, but I think that's how you do it. Maybe. Okay, well, we'll get there when we get there. Okay, so but for now, so this attack trigger zone needs to then okay, so what happened here with the sizing? I guess it's because the knight character is already scaled. So now this is scaled a little bit differently. Let's just hide this one quickly. Yeah, okay, so it is the same size. Okay. Just need to figure out what exactly this does. So it has the event going. And the player manager, I assume, get component in children, attack trigger. On attack trigger. Okay, we have the player manager. Doing this thing. Does that mean my state machine is also listening? Not quite. So the attack trigger goes off. How do I... Is it in player movement? Let's just see. Is targeting, okay. That's fine, is targeting, blah blah blah. So no, not the movement necessarily. Okay, we're checking for the player attack trigger. To be able to trigger the attack. Okay. Cut. Player attack trigger. And that is this one here. So it is toggling this thing on and off. Yeah, within this. And it's listening to get component in children attack trigger. I wonder. So technically, if I just go and I disconnect this one, right? Disconnect, and it'll look for this one as well, right? It'll find this attack trigger. Theoretically, I guess. Let's see. Let's see what it does. Should make that thing. Interesting. Okay, so the hit's not applied in this case. Okay, but the trigger works. This thing is just not doing any damage. There was nothing in the console, right? Yeah. That's funny. Okay, but the attack trigger works, which means even though this is disabled, this is still doing the stuff. Okay, so but this is not working. Ooh, sorry. So we are checking. I mean, why is it not working? That doesn't make any sense. So the player manager is not normally, it's just triggering the attack. It's not doing anything with damage. And the attack is being triggered. So it's changing in the state machine. But for some reason, okay, let's try. Oh geez, I can't remember how to get into debug mode. Let's see how to visual. Okay, so we have this gizmos thing. Is it this one? Yeah, okay, so gizmos on and off. Let's see, they have this function. Okay, so in the attack trigger, let's see, we have the overlap spheres. I want to see this thing physically. This is being hit enemies in attack zone. So let's see. This is done. When is this called? Trigger attack. So we trigger the attack. So on attack, trigger, invoke. So we trigger the attack. Okay. That's fine. Who's listening to this? Attack. Player take damage. Is an enemy take damage function? Let's see what this one does. Damage, event handler. Apply hit. So this function is called sometime. Is it in the player? No man, it is in the attack trigger. Yeah, we apply the hit. But when is this? When do we call this function? Oh, 2 references. There we go. Wait, where are these 2 references? In the animator events. Okay. The knight's animator event. So we have this attack trigger. This is the problem. This is the problem. When I attack trigger zone dot get component attack trigger. Let's see, where's this guy at? So this would be this one. Attack trigger zone. I physically put this thing in here. Now it changed to this one. Okay. I completely forgot that that was a thing I did. Okay, let's see now. There we go. That seems fine. Okay, let's stop. Now let's just do something dumb and see how this affects it. So let's say, for instance, I want this, just want to see position. .23. Okay, I'm just gonna put it there and play. So let's just suppose I do that. Okay, as soon as yeah, look at that. So I'm hitting guys all the way over there. Okay, and this... Well, yeah, the sound is not really heard because it's very far away. Yeah, it's a far away sound, right? So it is probably playing the sound, but it's just too soft because it's far. Okay, but it's working. So now the attack trigger zone is part of the knight character. Okay, so what I can do now is I can have a different type of attack trigger zone for the ranger. So if I think about this, so the ranger's probably gonna have a bigger area or something, like a cone in front of it or something like that, because you don't want a sphere right there, because it's like it's going to be very finicky to aim that, unless you have an indicator on the ground or something. But it's going to be quite finicky. You want to almost have an arc, and the ranger can just attack everything in that arc. Locks onto a target, for instance, and then shoots. Yeah, so that's a bit more complicated. But it's not so bad. Okay, but the knight character works, and I'm happy that this is now not necessary anymore. I'm gonna leave it there again because I'm superstitious. And the knight character is also keeping track of its own HP, which is good. So now, what do I want to do next? There's probably some other things that I need to separate. Attack timer might be one. Who knows? There's probably something else. Okay. Let's go back to the... Okay, so I'm just gonna stop this one, and now it stopped my streaming one again. Okay, I'll have to fix that one later. Okay, let's go back to our character select window, right? So we'll just go 2D mode here, and we'll zoom all the way out again. Whoops. Okay, let's go back here, and let's make this thing actually do something, right? Okay, wait, what? I just selected all the trees. Okay, let's make this thing do something again. So I want this character. So if I select the button, the chicken knight button, I should do something like this. So I should make the knight character game object. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here, but so technically I should be doing game object set active false, right? So if I select no true, set active true, right? And the Robin should obviously set the Robin true, but for now let's just make it at least set the make it switch off the knight. This is probably going to break a few things, I suspect. Let's see what happens. Also, I wonder if we should make the game manager pause on start. So on start we could say just toggle pause, right? Just so that the game is paused when we start it. You have to select a character. Okay, let's see. Let's see what I can break. Okay, if I select the knight, that's fine. If I select character and I select the ranger, that's interesting, yeah, because okay. So all the enemies still know where to go, because obviously the player isn't gone. Select the knight again, but the knight was gone. Now the knight's back and the knight can fight. Okay, the knight doesn't have enough HP, so it dies. I can select the Robin. Knight has disappeared. That guy's stuck in his animation. Select the knight again. He comes back standing up, right? I guess that's because it's reinitializing the knight but not yeah, it's probably got something to do with the animations and the state machines and stuff like that. That wasn't updated. Well, but it shouldn't really be updated, right? When you think about it. Because the knight's dead. Okay, that works. So now we just need to maybe put the ranger in so we can trigger the ranger as well. I guess. Okay, I'm just stopping this. And opening my ranger implementation task. Okay, let's put the ranger in. Let's go. So I think that we obviously did some things here for prefabs. Play characters. We have a ranger, right? So the ranger, it looks pretty good. I don't know. I think it's a good-looking ranger. Okay, so let's just go back and let's say, ranger, you are gonna go in here underneath the knight. So there you go, knight and ranger. Okay, now we need to do a couple of things for the ranger that we did for the knight, for instance. Right, so we have the animations. I didn't finish this though, so I need to finish that. But we also have scripts, so we have the knight character scripts. Let's just create a folder for the ranger character. Ranger character. Okay, now at least we have that. Okay, ranger character, animator, manager, and then, okay, so let's do, well, let's just do ranger character manager for now, right? The manager is probably the first one that we need. Why does it open this every time I do that? Anyway. Okay, so the ranger character needs a manager. And there we go. Now at least we have that. I can't even remember. Oh, it's probably scriptable objects, right? Knight stats is O. So let's see. If we duplicate this. Yeah, maybe we don't duplicate that actually. Oof. Okay. So scriptable objects. Let's duplicate this one. Okay, VS Code. Whatever you say. Okay, let's call this Ranger. Whoopsie. Ranger stats SO. Save. And then I also want to rename the file itself. Can I do it here? No, why would I be able to do it there? Can I do it here? Rename. Ranger stats scriptable object. I wonder, can't I just make this a character stats SO and then have knight stats? So I'll have different objects, but the scriptable part is the same. Because it's just level, progress, damage, speed, attack speed, health. What else could I put there that might be unique? Because even if I have to put stuff like upgrades or whatever, they all gotta have the same upgrades and stuff, right? Okay, let's do some refactoring. Oh, I'm gonna break stuff now, right? Yeah, let's just delete that script for Ranger stats. Just hearing something. So rumbling sound in the distance. Might be a plane, I think. I don't know. Okay, so if you change this one to make it maybe file name, let's just call it let's call it character stats. Character stats SO, and then we call this. Yeah, we change all of this to character stats, right? Character stats, character stats, character stats. Save. And then we rename this one as well to character stats SO. Okay, now what I'm suspecting, if this thing's smart, it shouldn't be a problem, right? But if I now actually go to my scriptable objects and I look at this one, okay, so this must now be a character. Stats SO instead, save. And the other one is having a problem with this one. Okay. Okay, so that's now better. And it updated, look at that, character stats SO. Okay, so it knows there's now, so if I now go create scriptable object, character stats, but I name this one Ranger. There we go. So now, so the knight, the ranger. So let's just make it damage 5, movement speed 8, attack speed, whatever. Character health 20. Start character health 20, I think. Yeah, okay, my current health for the night is 0 because it died. Okay, but now at least we have the SOs set up. So the SO itself is now there. And it's the same thing, right? And I think this is better because I didn't want, yeah, to have this be separate scripts. In this case, it doesn't really make sense because we're tracking the same stats. We just need multiple of them, obviously, but it's the same thing. It's a character's stats, and they all need to be the same. Like, obviously, the knight will have higher stats, it's like for HP, for instance, but it's not going to be completely different. Okay, I'm just looking for something. OBS. Let's see. Okay, goody. So we have this, so we can have a manager for our ranger. Okay, we should probably have then do I just want to copy all of this? I think so. So let's just start off by copying all of that, which is probably a bad idea. Okay, but this would now be not knight stats, this is ranger stats. I should do there's a way of doing this. Whoopsie. Yeah, that's ranger stats. So we're changing the ranger stats in this case. No. Alright. Ranger stats. There we go. So we're changing. So we're still checking for hits, and we're changing the ranger stats. And obviously, I think this is only when it's when the ranger is a thing, right? Okay, but we're changing the ranger stats. Okay, and the ranger can die. We obviously need to track still which one is alive, etc. But so for now, the ranger stats can at least be edited. Let's just say that, and then we probably need to drag in the triple object. Yeah. So ranger stats go in there. Okay, but now since we have a ranger, we can also look at our buttons here. And we can do these. So we can say add a object. This is now the ranger character. Game object, set active. False. Right, so we activate the knight, we deactivate the ranger in this case. And then the other button, we activate the ranger. So let's put the ranger in and we say game object, set active true. Okay. Yeah, so this is get down to 2D mode here. So this is what it's gonna look like. Oh geez, look at our ranger. Our ranger's tiny. That is interesting. So the knight, the character itself is 1.7, 1.7. Huh. Oh. Just check the capsule. Okay, then. Ranger doesn't have to be as big, but geez. So 2. Okay, so if we play now, I think so the menu should come out, and let's select the Ranger. So there we have the Ranger, obviously completely broken. Oh jeez, okay, I know there's a couple of problems with the Ranger still here. Quickly, get the Knight. This Ranger is stupid. Okay, yeah, so the Knight's currently still doing the job. Let's go to select character quickly. I just want to check. So if we look at the Knight stats, so the current HP is 0. That doesn't make any sense. Same with the Ranger. Oh, there. Okay, so the Knight was just about to die. So if we select the character now and we go to the Robin. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. I like that. And the Robin's just rolling around. Okay, so the Robin is inside the Knight at the moment. There we go. There's the Robin. Okay, so the Robin is obviously a smaller bird. So that's okay. I kind of like the size, I think. I just want to see something. So the position is 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I just want to do this, maybe drag the Robin over. I think actually in the manager, maybe we should just do this. So in the manager, we can do at start, we can say transform dot position, or just position. Position how do you change the position? Position dot set. Okay. Position equals vector 3.0. Maybe it's just the position. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, position of the game object. I just want to change it. Why was it done? We're obviously changing it through the movement script. Am I stupid? Swarm dot position. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this is a type. This is a thing. I tried to change the type. Okay, so if I just do this for the Ranger character and for the Knight character on start, then even if I work on them side by side like this, right, which is obviously better for just visualizing what's happening here. As soon as I click play, Something isn't right. What is happening? So the night character's over here. Wait, can we put these on two separate screens? I just want to see. Whoa! That is interesting. Okay, stop the lorry. Why is this happening now? What's going on? Right, the player position determines the overall position of these guys, right? Yeah. Is it really just that stupid script I just added? No way. Let's save those and to just do this again. That makes 0 sense. We can see my mouse position. Okay, select the chicken night. Works fantastically. Select the robin. Now you see the robin is doing the robin is doing its own thing. So it's not zeroed, right? So the position of the robin is. Oh jeez, I like that. Okay, anyway, just get those back on the same thing. Increase this thing's size. Go back to C. No man. Because I want them side by side just to do the work. Why does it not work? If I just change the position of whoa, what did I just open? The whole chicken. Yeah, okay, don't want that open. I want to fix this first. Okay, so let's do chick night. Let's save. Okay, I'm just gonna do this again. I just want to see what it changes because I don't think I checked. Okay, we play. Okay, the ranger is at position. How is that 0? Is that somehow relative to the... It makes zero sense. Yeah, it just went into the negative of whatever the player position is. Why? Okay, Google change object position local unity. Okay, let's see if transform.local position. Okay, and let's go change that quickly. So if I put a local position here, is it a capital P? Yeah. So transform.local position apparently. Save. Okay, we go down. Try this again. Play. Alright, there we go. Okay, so now they're back in one another. Let's see what this ranger does. Takes some damage, runs around, not really, but... died? It died, yeah. But the ranger died. Okay, and if we select the chicken knight, yeah, it's also dead because the player dies, right? It's not characters specifically that die yet. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Fantastic. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me today for this very first session. Very first morning session. We'll see how these go. I am optimistic that they'll go well. Let me change this to full face. Yeah, so I'm optimistic this will go well going into the future. I made some progress today, obviously not, earth-shattering or moving amounts of progress, but, it's better than nothing. And if I do this regularly and I stream, it'll keep me going, I hope. Because I can't sit here. You know what happens? If I don't stream, a lot of the time I'll just get up super early in the morning, I'll sit here, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. And then I just open YouTube or something and watch that instead, right? And I don't actually progress. But if I stream, at least I do get the work done. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow, I think. Yeah. Cheers. And now I need to figure out how to stop the stream. I think it's something like this. End stream.